Good afternoon, tubers. Matt M. Roy back once again. Well, see how everybody's doing today. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. I was busying myself this morning just watching some YouTube videos. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off real quick, though. And maybe what we'll do, because I'm feeling a little shaky today, I'm going to try to set this up real quick, see if this will help my stability, because you guys know that I don't have the most steady hand, probably due to the copious amounts of coffee that I drink in a day. There we go. Let's see if that helps out just a tad. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, you people on my channel have asked me for a long time to give you a update on the vintage computers that I have. And I thought we'd go ahead and start with that. We'll start with one that I have recently taken out of mothball, kind of your word for today. This was actually sitting in the storage over the garage for the longest time. And I think I'm going to go ahead and sit down for a few minutes because I've been working out pretty heavy this morning. What you're seeing here is a custom built by P&P Computers. I have no idea if this computer company is actually in existence anymore or not. But it's a Pentium 3 800 megahertz processor, though I don't believe that was original to this motherboard. Mainly because it doesn't quite support it. It sees it as 800 megahertz, but it doesn't see the actual model number. I actually do like this case, this kind of white and gray see-through, very kind of retro, I think. Case is actually in very, very good shape for its age, I must say. It's white on the side, custom white box tower, excellent shape, no real scratches to speak of. So right here, 3.5 inch or 3.25 inch floppy drive, 1.44 megabytes. Right up here, I just replaced that HP, what was it? It was the HP 4x4x24 CD burner. I think it was like model 8250 that was giving me trouble. With this here, this is just a light-on DVD burner, just a white one that I happen to have that was IDE, because of course, this is too old to have anything but IDE connections. Little blanking plate, and then up there, we have another light-on drive. Believe it or not, these are both light-on drives. This one, of course, is a little bit newer than the other one. And yeah, it probably would look better if I had both white drives in here, but unfortunately, I didn't have two matching color IDE drives. I was lucky that I was able to source these in my closet. So this is actually a really nice computer. I found this about a year ago at one of the CHKD thrift stores. I think it was the one on Military Highway. So what am I doing with this? Well, it has still been giving me trouble ever since I replaced the drive off and on. So right now, I've actually booted it up. You can see I got just a generic Windows 95 boot floppy in there. And right now I'm running ScanDisk, which is actually a very good program built into Windows. They used it, I think, up until Windows 98, which is what I'm actually running on this. And I'm having intermittent issues where this computer still does not want to boot to Windows properly. So I'm running ScanDisk off the floppy. And right now you can see I'm running a surface scan, and it actually did detect one bad sector. There's your key map there that'll tell you what each one means. So B means some bad sectors. If you see a dot, that means a used cluster. That kind of bluish color is some used clusters, and then of course the majority of this is just unused clusters. I'm not sure if this is going to fix the problem. I may need to reinstall Windows 98 on this computer. It's been a long time, and those of you that have worked with Windows 98 in the past just instinctively know it is not the most stable operating system. As the installation gets older, that really tends to degrade, slow down, and build up errors in the operating system. But one thing I like about this case, and I just noticed that there's definitely room for upgrades. I could put in a third optical drive if I wanted to, though I couldn't be right now because I actually have two IDE hard drives in this. So I would have to go ahead and remove one of those hard drives if I wanted to put in like a third optical drive, which I don't really see myself doing in the future. I may go ahead and add a second floppy drive to this because it'd be nice to be able to copy from one floppy to another. Remember that old thing that they used to say on the Computer Chronicles? The Software Publishers Association. Remember, don't copy that floppy. I also love the colors too. This is the Power Green Power LED. And believe it or not, this is actually a pinkish LED. The color you're seeing here is pretty close to what it is in real life, maybe a tad bit more on the redder scale, but this is actually a really, really cool, almost like early RGB, but just missing the blue, which if it was hooked up, you look right down here, you see there is a third LED here, and this is a blue LED, and this is for network connectivity. So if you had something like an Ethernet card in here, I don't know if you get the modem hook up that way, but this would shine blue. So this is literally a red, green, blue early RGB display on there. Very, very cool. So let me bring you guys over here to the back. I can't really show you too much, but it's got a replacement power supply. This is a 20 pin. I want to say this was out of an old Gateway. The original power supply was dead when I actually got this thing. You know, you get your typical PS2 ports there, two USB, legacy I/O, so you got your serial parallel. Interestingly enough, this did not come in with this particular motherboard did not come with a built-in sound card or any other type of like game port or anything like that. All that is done down here. Video card in here is a 64 gigabyte NVIDIA GeForce. It's not one I've ever heard of before. It's like a 64E. It's actually a PCI video card. It's not AGP. The AGP slot is actually right up here. I did put in a Diamond. Diamond sound card with a Crystal chipset. Love the Crystal chipsets. They tend to work really, really well, especially with the Microsoft Sidewinder joystick that I'm using. So this is your 13-pin joystick port. And then right down there, and I think I just pulled it out, is a D-Link? D-Link? Yeah, I believe it's a D-Link. It's actually a gigabit Ethernet card, believe it or not. You can see the 1000 right there. But yeah, I just have the only reason, I'll be honest with you, and I can actually pull this out. I really don't need the network plugged in right now. The only reason I have that in there is so I can update the ClamX antivirus. Other than that, I do not use this on the internet. So those of you out there that are in the comments saying, "Oh, Matt, how you should never use a Windows 98 computer on the internet." Relax, folks. All I'm doing is using that to update the antivirus definitions. Other than that, it stays unplugged. So I'm going to bring you guys over here real quick. I would pop the side cover off, but I don't want to do that while this is running the ScanDisk because I really don't want to interrupt this. I need this to run so I can hopefully get to play my games later on. I have the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and 3 installed on this. And this is the one I also play my Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on. And there's the joystick that I use, good old Microsoft Sidewinder. If you guys can kind of see it down there. This is the original one, so this will work with USB ports, but you have to use an adapter, a game port, 13-pin game port to USB adapter. And since I have the game port adapter on the sound card, I just use it in that mode. Though theoretically, I could use it in USB mode because these computers did support USB. Windows 95B, and then of course 98 has native USB support. Oh, let's see what we got going on here. Rick Lake says, "Hey Matt," and we got, who is that? Church Ramol 8 says, "Hi, hello to you." Yes, I am using a selfie stick right now. Basically trying to cut down a little on the shakiness here, folks, but that's pretty much all I had for the vintage PCs right now. Unfortunately, the Dell, my DOS gaming system, is still down. I have not had a chance to replace the power supply in that yet. That computer works great, except the power supply finally kicked the bucket, and it's one of those weird. It's a Dell XPS. I'll show you real quick. D233, one of the original ones. Come on. There we go. Nope. Here we go. Right down there. See the Dimension XPS D233. This is before they actually just called it an XPS. Back then it was a Dimension XPS. And this is one that uses one of those really weird ATX power supplies. This is an ATX power supply, but also has a proprietary AT style plug. So I have to get either the original Dell power supply for that came with that, or get an adapter. And I haven't really had a chance to look that up yet. But as you can see, if I go over here and try to turn it on, I was going to say, watch it make a liar out of me, but now you can see it's totally dead. And it is plugged in the back, so that happens. Unfortunately, as these things age, like Scotty Kilmer would say, they become endless money pits like most cars do. And you got to keep throwing money at it. But I don't mind doing it for this one because this is actually a really solidly built computer, and it's a great DOS gaming rig. Fun fact, is this the one? I don't think this has MMX, does it? Yes, it does. This is one of the first Pentium 2s. It might be the first Pentium 2 with MMX technology. If you go over a 350 megahertz Pentium 2 to play DOS games, you lose a lot of compatibility. So the real sweet spot for playing most MS-DOS games is a system running a Pentium 2 between 233 megahertz and 350 megahertz. Now, this computer is still going. This is something you guys gals have not seen in quite a while. This is my HP Pavilion Windows 2000 system. We can go ahead and do a boot up on this real quick. Boy, listen to those old hard drives. Let me go ahead and turn the monitor on. There we go. Booting up Windows 2000 there. And as you can see here, I finally found the front plate for this. I actually, when I got this, it was complete, except it was missing this front cover. And I found another one of these at Best Thrift in Norfolk. I'm sorry, Norfolk. And it was totally trashed. I mean, the motherboard didn't work. It was pretty much a junk system. But it did have the little faceplate here, so I was able to get that back. CD burner on top, DVD burner on the bottom, though I'll probably actually never burn DVDs with this thing. It is kind of dusty there too. Floppy drive there, and then down here you have your two USB 1.0 ports and a, what is that? Oh, that's actually a serial port right there. And what I actually did so I could transfer files, because this is actually my music server too, I went ahead and I put in a USB 2.0 card in the back, a PCI one, and then I routed this 4-port hub here and just glued it to the side so I can go ahead and plug in up to four USB flash drives, and I could transfer data back and forth at 2.0 speeds. Aw, my old kitty. This was Simon, the one that passed away a few years ago. So I'll give you guys a quick update on this one. Again, running Windows 2000. I don't even remember the specs on this. So Windows 2000, I did put the unofficial Service Pack 4 on here. This computer is maxed out at its absolute max amount of memory, which is 786 megabytes, which I guess would be probably, it's got to be three 256s. Is that right? Yeah. It's probably actually 768, but I don't know why it shows it as 785. So it's got to have three 256 megabytes PC 133 modules in there. Let's go into Device Manager real quick. I can't remember what I have all installed in this. It's got a GeForce 6200, great graphics card, especially for running like Windows 98, 2000 era games. There are your optical, didn't mean to do that. It's hard to see when you're holding the camera at the same time. But yeah, there you go. You got your various ports there, or cards. You got the Realtek RTL 8139 Ethernet adapter, because I do actively have this one online, because I actually use this Winamp on this to stream music, and I do have ClamX antivirus on this, so I'm okay, folks. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's just a quick update on my vintage PCs. It's all I have out right now. Wonder how everybody else is doing. Is everybody coping well with our current crisis? I bet you guys thought I wasn't going to talk about it today. Well, I figured I might as well. You know, it's on everybody's mind. The latest news, okay? Oh, before I forget, don't forget to click that like button. I know a lot of you out there must be liking this because I keep getting people asking me to do updates on my computer. So if you like this video, please remember to click that thumbs up there. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. So let me try to get the best light here. Um, the latest update for the coronavirus is people with certain blood types are more susceptible to getting it. And if they get it, they have worse effects than others. And this, from what I've heard, if you're type O, like my mother is, you're good. You have very little chance of contracting it. If you do, you might be a carrier, but you're not going to get the worst effects of it yourself. If you are a type A, you have the greatest risk of getting infected and having the worst complications. And in my case, my dad and I are both A positives. So, that being said, probably not going to be venturing out much anytime soon. Once I heard that, I said to myself, okay, I'm young and healthy for the most part, but I really don't want to risk it, you know. And the other thing is, my father is in the category, what do they call it? The high risk, the compromised immune system category. You know, he's also elderly, and he also has the bad blood type, which you can easily contract it. And if you do contract it, you have the worst side effects. So, I think for the time being, I'm going to be hunkered down in the house. Might go out and do some bike rides. If I have to go to the grocery store, I will go to the grocery store. But as for doing like thrift store shopping, things like that, it's not going to happen, folks. I don't want to chance it. If I was to contract this and give it to my father and something terrible happened, I would feel terrible inside. So that being said, probably not going to be seeing a lot of like thrift store haul videos from me late or in the near future, but hopefully once this crisis is ended, everything will get back to normal. All right, so let me give you guys a quick little room tour here. Hope everybody's doing well. Eric said I just walked out to lunch. Matthew, somebody said I just picked up I picked a Sidewinder up in Value Village, but mine twists in the middle. That's the later model. I think that was like the Sidewinder 2 or something. Got Brittany up there. Boy, does she look a little angry. Hey, she's sticking her tongue out at me, folks. This is one of those Build-A-Bears. I actually got this at the thrift store the other day. $1.98, and I got it cheap because she's missing her clothes. She should have a dress on. Maybe the person who built this just decided they didn't want the clothes because it was kind of an optional thing. But she's really clean. She's really, really clean, folks. There's her bushy little tail. You can see right there, Build-A-Bear Workshop, stuffed with hugs and good wishes. So yeah, still collecting Alvin and the Chipmunks memorabilia. I know a lot of you out there do as well. Still got my stuff up here. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. See that thumb right there? Take a moment and click that thumbs up. Really helps me out, folks. Gonna go into the closet real quick. Now, out of all those computers I picked up, about a month and a half ago, those 40 towers, let me show you what I got left out of there. So I got these 6 towers left, and actually these two on the end, this HP right here, this HP Pavilion 6000 series, and then this other HP Pavilion here, that was not part of the haul. So really I only have 4 left, and they're all the i3s. These are, what the heck are these? These are 7020s, and I believe these are all i3 4160s in here. So 4th gen i3s. And then we have a Optiplex 3020 down here. Ooh, you guys know 3020. That's like a dirty word in my book. That one's got the 4150. So that's actually got a slightly slower processor than the three i3s up here. The three i3s. Boy, isn't that a little bit of a tongue twister? Still have this monitor here. Incidentally, if any of you out there are interested in either one of these three, I would be willing to ship these out because I've actually weighed these. As a matter of fact, let me turn my scale on here real quick. Go ahead and put that up there, and let's change it to, where is it on here? Mode. I need to change it to pounds. And let's go ahead and put one of these up there, and I'll show you what it weighs. Incidentally, I love this scale. This scale is awesome. So let's see. So this weighs 10.4 pounds. So with the packaging, you're probably looking around 11 pounds. So to ship one of these, I have to do the math, but you're probably looking about $30 to ship this. So that computer with the SSD and everything will probably cost you about, 10.5 pounds. So it'd probably cost you, I'm going to break that. I'm told you, I'm going to break something today, folks. It's probably going to cost about $30 or so to ship. So if you're interested in this, message me through Facebook or just send me a message through YouTube if you can. And these I would definitely be willing to ship. But the other ones down here are just going to be a little too much on the heavy side. All right, let me go ahead and turn you guys around here real quick. I'm going to turn off this scale so I don't kill the battery on there and put it back, because as you guys know, I am not the neatest person. I am not a good organizer, never have been. So I've been trying to keep everything neat, clean, and tidy in here. It's still a work in progress. I'll go ahead and turn you guys around real quick and show you. Because if I didn't, I think Mom would get on my case. Okay. So as you're walking in, I got my computers here. I used to have a shelf here, which fell down. I kind of overweighted it, but that's fine. I really didn't want a shelf there anyway. This gives me more options to store things. You can see where the old hooks used to go. Every one of them broke except for that one down there. I still have the shelf up here. Yeah, that'll be fine. This is still storing all of my goodies that I use on a regular basis, minus the nasty Aldi white cheddar popcorn. I've talked about this in the past. Don't buy this, folks. It's more kernels than popcorn, honestly. My cleaning supplies are still there. Goo Gone window cleaner, paper towels, really, really bad tissues that I'm using with the Goo Gone, because if I use those on my nose, I'll basically break out. All my cameras are still sitting up here. The remotes that I use for VCRs and TVs, and that's one thing I want to let you guys know about. If you are a reseller and you get things like TVs, VCRs, DVD players, Blu-ray players on a regular basis to resell, make sure you have a good stock of remotes, and I do all the time. Most of the local thrift stores that I go to, they sell remotes for $1, so I'll go in there on sale day when things are like 25 or 50% off, and I'll buy them out of remotes. Like you can see, I got a Magnavox there, some Sony remotes, and there's even more remotes in there. That way, when I do get something in, like a Blu-ray player or a DVD player or a VCR from a garage sale, which inevitably 9 times out of 10 they won't have the remote, I can usually pair them up with the remote that I have and get more money for them. Keeping things neat and tidy here. When I decided to clean out the closet, Mom actually went out with me to Walmart and she bought me some of these storage bins. This is actually really nice because this is on casters. This can roll out and roll in, kind of like that. And I'm storing my power cords there, desktop power cords, DVI and HDMI and DisplayPort cables. So basically the digital monitor cables in here, and then on the bottom are all my VGA cables, and I also have some DMS59 connectors in there right now. This section's still a little bit of a mess. I'm working on cleaning this up a little bit more, but I honestly think for the most part it looks pretty good in here. Oh, let me put that back the way it was. There we go. Still got the Top Shot LaserJet M275 printer. Love this thing. I bought the cartridges for it. I use this almost on a daily basis. Got this for 25 bucks at an estate sale. Really good color LaserJet printer. The only issue with it was somebody broke this little shelf here, but it doesn't matter. It still stays in place. All right, folks, that's it for the closet. Eric's Friday channel. I thought all Pat's Pizza locations had a drive-through, but I had to go in and get my cheesesteak. Yeah, honestly, I thought that most restaurants were closed. I know around here, almost all fast food restaurants are closed except for drive-throughs, and it's the same thing I think with the chain restaurants too, and the local boîtes, if you will. But that's a good thing because that definitely helps contain the outbreak a little bit. So what do we want to do? How many, since I have my cell phone, how many of you want to see some cold starts? You got to see the technology side of things. Who wants to see some cold starts? It's not super cold out, but I haven't started any of the vehicles today. Yeah, let's go and do it. I don't see why not. I'm in my slippers too, by the way. I honestly, oh, you guys can't see that. Duh. I actually haven't even put my shoes on yet today. Mom, you decent?
Not yet.
Here, mute the TV real quick.
President's talking.
Oh, we're doing a quick live stream here.
Oh, hello.
Mom wanted to say hi.
Mayo pack.
Yeah, I'm wearing an old Mayapack shirt. So if any of our friends are watching, that's Mayapack, New York.
Yeah.
But I was going to go out and do some cold starts.
Oh, okay.
To give you guys something different. Do you want to say anything? What are you up to?
No, just getting a little cabin fever like everybody else, but it's the safest place to be. So we're going to listen to, what they say about staying indoors and, not mingling, with a lot of different people. So we're trying to adhere to it.
That's right. That's really important right now. At first, I didn't believe it, but now that I'm seeing how far this is spreading, I'm going to be safe than sorry. Rather be safe than sorry. And I think Mom and I, maybe if it gets nice later, we'll go out for a walk or a bike ride, and that's perfectly fine. We're talking about like the social distancing. You don't have to stay inside as long as you keep, what is it, at 10 feet?
I think
10 feet away?
Yeah.
10 feet or so away from the other people, then you should be fine. You don't even have to worry about it. So get outside if it's nice. Get some sunlight, get that vitamin D in you to make you feel much better.
And stay safe.
Definitely stay safe. And looking at the president, what's he talking about?
I don't know. I don't want to turn on the...
No, coronavirus task force gives White House briefing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not gonna do anything with that because I'm really getting tired of. I'm getting tired of hearing about it. You guys probably are getting tired of hearing about it. So let's go outside. I got to go grab the keys. Dad's here coloring away. I'm going to mute the, can you mute the TV real quick? Show them some of the stuff that you're doing. So this is Dad's new hobby here. He loves this adult coloring book stuff, and I don't know how he does it. I know I don't have the steady hands for it.
Page here, yeah.
Okay, so he did these over the last couple of days.
Eels.
Those are eels. That's an egret, right? Egret.
Yeah, egret.
And I remember that when we went to what is the name of the place?
The park.
Yeah, the one over in Portsmouth. We actually saw one of these, and my mind's gone. I just can't think of the name of it, but it was. It'll come to me. But anyway, what do we got here? So we got raccoon.
Fish.
Wait, raccoon looking at getting some fish. Got the snails on the sawgrass. He does a really good job color matching too, honestly. I mean, this is really, really cool. What is that, a crab?
That's a mud crab.
That's a mud
crab.
crab. It almost looks like a hermit crab shell back there.
Yeah, but it's a mud tunnel.
Okay, so that's the tunnel,
Yeah.
and then that's the crab itself going on the sawgrass.
Yeah. And then,
Very cool.
Next one, if I get the page open.
What is that thing? That is a clapper rail. Common through, what does it say? Common, though rarely seen, because like most of the rails, it is so secretive The clapper rail is perfectly at home in the tall grasses of the salt marsh. I know my phone's just not focusing really well on that.
So much.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to give this back to
This is a
Dad.
sandworm. We're working on sandworm.
Let
Man.
me see. Ugh. Man, how would you guys like to see that in your bed at night? My gosh. Man, that is scary. All right, we're going to give that back to Dad. You can see he is really set up for everything. He took a ride out to Michael's last week, and he got tons of these different colored pencils. What are these? These are grease pens?
No, they're gel pens.
Gel pens, colored
seem to work the
pencils,
best.
some markers and
This
things.
is all gel pen.
Man, that is so
And
cool.
this one over here is pencil. Let's see. That's pencil.
To be honest with you, I like the look of the colored pencil better. It's just a little bit more earthy to me.
And
The gel
these are-
pens look good, but this is more of what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Do another one with the pencils.
These are water paint.
Okay, that's the brush.
Different kind of paint with a brush, right?
Okay, nice.
But I seem to like the one with the pens, the way they turn out. Need more colors, that's what it is. There's more variety of colors. You can see all the colors. There's a big variety. And some, like this one here, are a combination gel pens and pencils. I use the pencils to shade in the sand the way I want, and then go back and forth.
Wow. Well, go back to having fun. We're gonna run outside real quick. Gave you guys an update on Dad because everybody always seems to ask about him. I need to get my keys here and probably put my shoes on because I think it's still pretty wet out there. Yeah, definitely gonna take my slippers off here and put my shoes back on. Take these off. Let's see. Turn you guys around here. Don't worry, folks. I'll just be gone a minute. I'm just putting my shoes on here at the moment. It's a good thing I used that mount because I wouldn't be able to see you right now otherwise. I had some of these Aldi. Hey, Mom, can you turn that down a little bit? Thank you. So, and I got some deep knots in here too. Forget using these then. Go ahead and try these pony shoes. I love to have a pair of shoes that I can slip on. I've had them in the past, but they don't last. I walk so much that they seem to wear out really quickly. All right, we're all set. Cold start time. PC fan says, I love your stairs. Oh, well, thank you. They're a little treacherous in the wintertime. No, I'm just kidding. They're treacherous all year round. All right, so let's see. Maybe we'll start with the Yukon this time, because I think the last time started with the LeSabre and worked my way back. I'm trying to do it the other way this time. Old Chrysler Town and Country still doing really, really well. There's Mom's Lincoln Town Car. Been having some issues with the alarm system on this, but I think we got it licked. We think it was the switch under the hood there, which we just disabled. Now it seems to be fine, though. Okay, yeah, it's locked. All right, Yukon time. And I got the wrong keys, of course. Because check this out. That's the fob for the Yukon. That's the fob for the LeSabre. And the only difference is the one for the LeSabre has the trunk release when the Yukon doesn't. So very easy to get those two mixed up. You can see the pollen that has built up. I mean, it's that bad. Even after the rain, check out the pollen that is on the door. Denali. Yep, and there's my good old trusty hand sanitizer. All right, what do you think, folks? What do you think she'll start? I think she'll start. Let's find out. You got the key in there. Make sure the radio's off. Battery voltage looks a little on the low side. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah. You can rely on your General Motors products, especially with the Vortex 6000 motor. 182,341 miles. Yeah, that's about what you expect miles per gallon wise with this engine. That's a combination of highway and regular town driving, but I'll be honest with you, that's about all you're going to get. It's definitely a fuel hungry beast. Let's see what other goodies we got in here. Let's see what the tire pressures are. 40, 34, 41, 39. Ooh, wow. Have to check the right front, see why that's so low. Actually, I don't even have to bother because I have a guarantee on these tires, so if it becomes an issue, I'll just bring it in and have Dillinger's check these out. All right, let's see. Give her a few revs here in a second. I'm going to wait for it to warm up a little bit. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, Tyler, yeah, we've got a good amount of groceries. I'm not worried about that at all. All right, let's give her some revs here. And this thing wants to go. Even in park, she wants to move. Woo! Yep, and the radio is working now. This is the one that I had issues with the screen cutting out. It was just a loose connection in the back. Fixed that. Now everything works. Except for, once again, except for the cruise control. Never was able to get the cruise control to work on this thing, but everything else does. But that was kind of an Achilles heel with these particular generation of Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, what have you. So not really too worried about it. All right, let's head out. Bose. Next up, the Tahoe, and that's actually on the same keychain. The Tahoe has a much older looking General Motors fob, by the way. Still works good though. Now, one I had to do on this Tahoe the other day had a lot of water penetration, and I noticed the problem was the gasket here for the weather stripping had started to separate. What actually winds up happening with these, after a long period of time, the gasket will actually shrink from the heat. So I went in with some caulking, and it's still kind of pliable, so I need to let that kind of set more. Yeah, you can see I just got some of my fingers, but I went around there, went all around the edge. Probably just stick that back on there for now. So I'll be very careful getting in here so I don't mess that up. Whoop. And we're in the Tahoe. Once again, Tahoe has 230,824 miles. I need to find what I just did with the keys here. There we go. Go ahead and put the key in. Make sure the radio is also off, which it's not. I have a very bad habit of leaving my radios on. See what we got here. This one actually has good battery voltage. Let's see if she'll start up. Oh, yeah. Once again, you can rely on your Chevrolets, especially your GM T400s. Mike Utuber actually did a video about Silverado in this generation the other day. And let me shut this real quick. And he said these were one of the best vehicles General Motors ever made. And I have to agree, these things are awesome. 230,000 miles, and this thing still runs like a brand new vehicle. Well, she's running a little bit rough at the moment, but I think that's just because it's kind of cold at the moment. Good oil pressure. It's cold. She's definitely charging. Really charging. Wow, look at that. What is that? Charging at like 16 volts. and she has a full tank of gas. Let her warm up for a second, and we'll give her some revs. This one actually sounds really good when you rev it up. Oh, man. Don't get a lot of pollen in the UK. I wish that was the case here because my allergies kick my butt whenever the pollen's out. I am highly, highly allergic to pollen. Oh yeah, Mr. Burns, shorts and shirts right now. The weather, hang on a second if I can do this. Current temperature is 52 degrees, which for me is warm enough for shorts. A lot of people probably couldn't handle it, but I don't know. I'm what do they call it, warm-blooded, so it really doesn't bother me that much. All right. See if we can get a few little revs here for you.
There we go.
All right. So once again, you can definitely rely on your Chevy Tahoes. I am going to do my best to get out of here without messing up the caulking. I can't believe how long it takes for that caulking to dry. I swear it was like 4 or 5 days ago that I did it, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the weather's been kind of humid and wet, and that just means it takes a lot longer to dry, but it's all good. I just probably won't be driving this much today. All right, and last but very not least, the LeSabre, the most definitely nicest looking vehicle that I own. Paint is still in really good shape. Interior is really almost like new. It amazes me every time I get into this thing how nice the previous owner kept this vehicle. Radio off. Good lucky that was just AM radio. Now, this one tends to have battery issues sometimes, 142,000 miles. Yeah, that battery's a little on the low side, 11.3 volts, but I'll bet you she'll start. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, no problems. Yep, security light. Fun fact, well, maybe not so fun. Whenever the battery's a little too low, I usually get that security light come on. Tell it's really charging right now. I might actually leave this one running for a couple minutes, kind of charge up that battery a little bit. Let me try and do this. Make it easier so you guys can see me. Well, that didn't work. There we go. All right, so we had the cold starts. This one I'm not even going to bother revving because let's face it, it's not all that fun. Just the 3800 Series 2 V6. But let me see. Did anybody give me any other feedback? Anything I've missed here? I've done live streams while driving. I don't like to do them right now, especially during this crisis. People are a little edgy, so if they see you talking to your cell phone while you're driving, they tend to get in your case about it. Plus, it's generally not a good idea anyway. When you're driving, you really want to have your eyes focused on the road. Any little distraction can cause an accident. So I'll have to say no. Probably will not be doing live streams while I'm driving. I guess that's about it. We had 11 watchers here. We had 9 likes. Thank you so much. You guys are so awesome out there. I love my YouTube audience. Like I said, remember, the likes definitely help. If you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy these live streams, make sure you do click that like button because at the end of the day, that helps me. That puts me higher on YouTube's search algorithm.
and my videos will definitely get more views. So I'm going to end it here, folks. I don't have anything else to say today. I hope everybody is staying safe and everybody is hunkered down. If the law is where you are right now, that you stay in. You only go out if you absolutely have to. Stay inside, maybe binge watch some Netflix. Just spend some time with your family. Until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.